No. So you've been pumping for a little while now, and maybe you even reached a minute, maybe even 2 minutes, but you quickly realize that going long distance is probably really not your take. You prefer to carve, to go fast, to steal waves, which I understand because it's just more fun. I'm the same as you. And maybe you even thought about downsizing, but you don't know where to start. Maybe you're like, what should I get? Maybe you're pumping a 1800 wing and you don't know if going for a 1200 is too big of a jump. Well, this video is for you to find it out, because I'm going to compare two wings which are apparently very, very similar. Because if you put them one on top of the other, you would say, all right, they're pretty much the same, right? In fact, one is a 1250 square centimeters, and the other one is a 1450. The shape is exactly the same, but the biggest difference, I don't know if you can see, is in thickness. The 1250 is way more thin, way thinner than the 1450. That's why there is quite a big difference in speed and of course in difficulty in starting. And in this video I'm gonna compare how much more difficult it is to start, how much faster can you go, and how much can you pump the bigger wing for, right? So again, I'm gonna try and be super fair. So we're gonna use the same board, the same mast, the same fuselage, the same tail. The only thing that is gonna change is the front wing. And of course the rider is gonna be the same. And I'm gonna try and use the timer, so we know exactly how much more you can pump with this one and how much faster you can go with this one, right? And how much harder it is to pump with this one. Now, I do have to admit that I just received this one. I tried it a few days ago for the first time, and I was actually able to start it in about 8 trials, and then I was pretty consistent. Of course, not as consistent as with this one, but you know, I just wanted to try it beforehand, just to make this video a bit more fair. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it, so that you can find it out if getting such a wing, such a thin and small wing is the way to go for you, or maybe you should get something in between, you know, because maybe jumping from an 1800 to a 1200 is maybe a bit of a jump, but let's find it out. But before we get into it, let me just inform you that I'm going to be hosting a pump foiling retreat, not here but in Cyprus in 25 degrees, in a private villa with a private dock in March/April. So just in case that's something that you might be interested in, I'm going to leave a pre-interest form in the description of this video, just for you to let me know that you might be interested in attending the clinic. So you can just fill it, just for me to understand the dates, and then we can go ahead from there and organize it properly. All right. And just to provide a bit more context, I'm using my Ketos board 90 centimeters, my 80 centimeters mast, and my longest fuse, which is roughly 64 centimeters, and the 130 tail, again from Ketos. I'm not using the shortest fuse because I believe that if you are already with such a small front wing and a thin and fast front wing, you don't really need to, you know, to increase the maneuverability even further. As you can see, my success ratio is kinda shit. And the difficult part is not only the start. I mean, the start itself, the Dockstart, is fine. The problem then is to pick up speed. You cannot really mess the first 3-4 pumps, because you really need to be super precise, because if you don't time it right, you won't generate that speed and you will just stall, because the stall speed is way higher. So no margin, no room for mistakes at the start. And the only thing that is way harder, I found way harder, of course, just a matter of practice, as always, is the height. Okay, the lake is super super flat, so this doesn't help neither, but it's kind of hard to really understand where you are on the mast, because since it's thinner and everything is faster, you don't really understand how high you are on the mast. But again, it's just a matter of practice and getting used to it. That's why I bridged earlier on during the turn. I really had no idea how high I was on the mast, and yeah, again, no room for mistake on that side neither. But it's super fun. You really like, yeah, the speed is just better than pumping long distances, in my opinion. I think it was really 30-40 seconds, and as you can see, I'm whacked. Yeah, it's definitely more energy demanding. Of course, it's a matter of technique and becoming precise and getting the right timing. But you really have to push it to keep the speed. As you could tell, is extremely fun. Such a great time with this wing. If you can be efficient, if you can really become efficient and pump such small wings for 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, mate, you can pretty much throw away the other bigger wings, in my opinion, right? And mind you, this is like a surf foil, wing foil type of front wing, so it's not really designed specifically to be extremely glidey or efficient. It's just carve and fun in general, right? But I just love it. I definitely need to practice, but I still wanna pop the other one just to finish off this video, and I will have more time to practice more and record other videos. Alright, so this was a speed test. I'm gonna put on the screen here the speed comparison, like how much it took me to go back and forth to the buoy with the 1250 and with the 1450. I think that there is quite some difference in terms of time, but I can tell you that in terms of fatigue, there's not a huge difference. Again, it's not ideal to jump back and forth from one foil to the other in terms of technique, because you still need to make some adjustments. That's why I probably wasted quite some energy. I wasn't really efficient and high on the mast. But actually, I was expecting it to be like a bigger difference in terms of how harder it is to pump the smaller one. But actually, even this one is still quite tiring. So yeah, I wouldn't say that you can pump these twice as longer as that one. Probably 50%. I'm not super efficient in this period with the wetsuit and everything. I could come up with 1,000 excuses, but the truth is just really that I didn't spend enough time in the water in the last period. And by the way, all these and even more, as always, even like a foil drive guide, is inside the free pump foil guide that you can find in the first link in the description below. As I mentioned, it's free. Should you get such a small wing, if for example you are currently pumping an 1800 or even a 2000, well, not really. By the way, I'm looking at the 1450, but I mean, should you get something faster like the 1250 if you are currently pumping and maybe you're even proficient on a 1800, like a very slow beginner wing, in my opinion that's too big of a step. But if you don't want to spend lots and lots of cash to get an intermediate type of wing, so for example a 1450, 1500, whatever, what you could maybe do, if for example you are currently on a long fuse and big stab, is to get a shorter fuse and a smaller stab, which theoretically both costs less than a new wing. You practice with those and then you can switch to the smaller wing, and maybe perhaps you can get back on the longer fuse that you've got now. Why that? Because as you could probably realize yourself thanks to this test, the real problem is not really, in my opinion, at a physical level, but at a technical level, because you're simply forced to do everything right. You are not allowed to make mistakes when you're pumping such a small wing, because you pretty much don't have possibility to recover, because every mistake means a loss of speed, and since the stall speed is higher, then if you fall below that point, then it's pretty much impossible to recover. Or at least with intermediate like type of wings or big wings, you can pretty much make 3, 4, 5 mistakes in a row, and somehow you're still gonna be able to fly because they have a super low stall speed. So yeah, consider this if you're thinking about downsizing, but you are not yet sure that you're gonna be able to learn on a super small wing. Consider this little hack by reducing the length of the fuselage and the size of the stab before jumping onto a small wing. And as I mentioned in one of the previous videos that I recorded in this period, one of the things that could help you increase, improve, enhance your technique is pumping without stab. I'm still practicing that, but I do find it really beneficial, and maybe I'm gonna record further videos on that topic because that's quite interesting. But yeah, consider even that, again, just to become sharp before you make the jump, you make the step and get into a small wing. Otherwise, just go for it, get it, and then you'll figure it out, right? Pretty much just like you figured out the first time with big wings, you're gonna be able to figure it out with small wings. In terms of technique, you pretty much saw it. You need maybe to make one more step on the dock, just to land, to step on the board with more speed. Definitely, I found super comfortable the run start, the classic Dockstart. I'm gonna try maybe in other videos the drop start and see how it feels. Perhaps it's gonna be pretty easy. But yeah, as I mentioned, the really the important thing is the first pumps and the feet placement, because again, the bigger the wing, the more permissive. So even if you apply weight not exactly in the right spot, you're still gonna be able to fly and to generate speed, or at least to keep your speed and your height. With a small wing, you really need to be precise with your feet placements first of all. And that's something that you need to figure out with the first trials and with the first pumps. Because again, yes, like hopping high is not really the problem, but when it comes to generating that speed, which is what you need to do at the beginning if you want to fly, if you want to actually keep flying more than 2 meters after the dock, is really to apply pressure in the right spot. Again, it's not pressure, you know that. It's really just connecting the hoops, linking the hoops. But you need to apply pressure in the right spot. Otherwise, you're really going to feel that the board goes down, but you're slowing down instead of generating speed. And that means that either it's a timing issue, either it's like weight distribution issue. So you are pressing in the right spot and you need to figure it out. Perhaps sometimes it's both. So you are both applying weight in the wrong moment, in the wrong spot. And those are just things that I cannot really tell you because it depends on your foil and so many factors. So that's something that you really just need to try and figure out for yourself. That is why you need to be kind of sharp in everything else, because if you're not sharp in the Dockstart and you need to be precise with your feet placement, good luck, right? And again, expect having to make adjustments, quick adjustments with your feet placement as you step on the board. Again, you need to be precise, you need to have a sharp Dockstart, and at least 1 minute, 1 minute and a half pumping with beginner big wings before you jump into something smaller. And again, consider changing the fuse and the stub first before jumping into a super small wing, right? That's that. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you want me to record other videos to make other tests with this small wing. And once again, subscribe and stick around because I'm going to be posting lots of other videos like this one every Tuesday and Friday.